Hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining me for another video. Today's video is going to be a little bit different, as you guys can tell by the title of the video. I just kind of wanted to get on here and let you guys know where I've been, what I've been doing, and why I've been a little MIA. So first things first, I thought that instead of just telling you why I've been MIA, I think I'm going to show you why I've been MIA. Here is the reason. This is Bear, and Bear, oh Bear, wait, they want to see your face. And Bear is, she's going to be 4 months old now in January. That one you heard in the background is Dad, and Dad wants to play, so he's like, can I get my Bear back so we can play? And Bear had 5 other siblings, and I was wondering always why people said, oh, don't get a puppy, don't get puppies, don't let your dogs have puppies, they're too much work. And I'm like, really? They're puppies, how much work could they be? Listen, don't get really what are you doing? Yeah, no, it is a lot of work. Yes, people were not lying when they were telling me that. And anyways, I had my hands full with this cutie patootie and the 5 other siblings. So I am going to put her down. It's a her, but I apparently don't know how to tell between boys and girls, right? Because I thought she was a boy when I named her Bear, and I named her Bear because I think she kind of looks like a bear. She's so furry, and I love her dearly. You ready to go with Papa's? Yeah, I love you. So let's put her down. Let her run off with her papas. So I'm back, guys. This channel is basically about 3 things, basically: religious education, gardening in the Arrow Gardens, and plannings or stickers for my planners. Where have I been with all of this? Let's see, what's the easiest? None of them are easy, so let's just jump in and let you know exactly where I've been. So this religious education year has been very different than my other years. Obviously, you know that different years bring different children, or new years bring new children, and each of those children have different skills and abilities. And as many of you might know, if you do follow my religious education videos, I teach the babies, so the very first class, which are usually 6, 7, 8 years old, 1st and 2nd grade. This year, for whatever reason, I do have a couple of kindergartners who just so happen to have already turned 6, but they're still in kindergarten. They can't read, they can't write. So that presents a challenge in and of itself. However, I kind of like those challenges. But again, this year has been a little bit different because for whatever reason, kids have been coming in and out of class. So for example, I may have had 20 kids on my list. 2 kids go out this Saturday, 3 kids come in the following Saturday, and it's just been fluctuating so much. We do normally have a cutoff point, a particular date, usually like in October, where kids stop coming in. And for whatever reason, it might be language, it might be anything, kids have been coming in and out. So when that kind of stopped, I then had a child who had an injury. His classroom was normally upstairs on the 2nd floor of where we teach, and he was in a wheelchair, so this place is not handicap accessible, so he can't get upstairs. And his mom actually offered to carry him upstairs, but that's kind of a burden. That's kind of crazy to ask of a parent, regardless of what you do at home. So to make things easier for the child, we just had him in our classroom. And this kid is a teenager, so of course I didn't think that he was going to enjoy my class at all, because things are much slower for my babies. And he actually loved it to the point where he asked his mom and our religious education director if he could stay in our class. And unfortunately he can't, because there are other things that are being taught at his age and grade level that I might not be teaching my babies. So he couldn't, and I felt really bad. I didn't want to be the bad guy and say no. But that's what it is. I've also, a lot of you have been asking me, Ev, why are there no CCD Saturday videos? That's because I have a mom who refused to sign the media release because mom doesn't go to church. She's never really gone to church. She kind of doesn't even want anything to do with church. And the reason why she even brings her kiddo to class is because of great grandma. And great grandma is a great friend of mine and a friend of my mom's. They're about the same age. I grew up with this lady. I love and adore this lady. She is the funniest thing in the world. But anyways, that's great grandma. Great grandma has kind of been harping at grandma, who then harps at the daughter. Who then has signed her kiddo up and brought him to class. But again, she doesn't want him to appear in any video. She doesn't want him to appear in any pictures. She doesn't really bring him to church to participate in anything. And I'm totally okay with that because guess what? Mom is doing something. She's bringing him to class. So I'm totally okay with that. The rest is up to God. We can just pray for her and for the kiddo, because the kiddo seems kind of like interested. And I usually think that if the kid gets interested, then the kid could get the parent interested. But that's not the case, I guess. Anyhow, if you hear pitter patter, it's the dogs that are going crazy around me. Usually I close the door in the room that I'm in. But they have figured out, not sure how, I don't know if one gets on the other's shoulders or what, but they figured out how to open the door. And there goes the bird too. Anyways, it is what it is. I also have another kiddo in class who is a foster child, and I don't know about where you guys live in, but here in the state of Massachusetts, foster children are not allowed to be videotaped. They're not allowed to be photographed. So that media release has also not been signed. Other than that, everybody else has a media release that's signed. I have recorded bits and pieces of classes, but they're not really what I want them to be, because I really like to be all inclusive and I want to include everybody in the videos and, you know, whatnot. And not being able to include these two kids in particular kind of kills me, kind of breaks my heart. So I kind of don't do anything, but I promise I will start doing something, even if it's just, I don't know. Where have I been with gardening? So if you guys watch my gardening videos, I have 2 air gardens by Miracle Grow, and it's the air garden sprout and the air garden harvest. The harvest is, I want to say 6 pods, 8 pods, don't kill me, I don't remember. And the sprout is 3 pods. So the aerator on the sprout kind of it stopped working. My water got all murky and disgusting, and the plants kind of started dying off, and I'm like, what is going on? And then I figured out that it was the aerator. I called, I didn't call, I emailed Air Garden. They were very nice enough to send me a new aerator and a little tool to get it out and put the new one in. Anyways, it's working. They did send me some new pods, but what did they send me? They sent me basil and parsley, 2 of the things that I didn't have growing in there when the machine kind of broke down. But you know what? It is what it is. And yes, I still have the tomato plant in the harvest, but to me, it's kind of boring to see tomato plant again. Like, duh, you know, you have a tomato plant in the harvest. And then it's kind of boring also to show you basil and parsley every week, because it's kind of the same thing. So I do have a couple of different pods on order, especially cilantro. If you guys know me, you guys know that I love cilantro. So I definitely have some more pods on order. I am going to take the tomato plant, and I was going to repot it. I'm going to give it away to a friend who absolutely loves tomatoes. I do enjoy tomatoes, but I just haven't been using these tomatoes. Haven't been eating these tomatoes as much as I thought I was going to. I think I ended up getting the tomatoes just to kind of prove to myself that yes, you can grow tomatoes in this air garden. So anyways, and planning, where have I been with planning? I'm still a planner girl. I've, however, started in this new year, I started reading Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover. I've decided that the family finances are so much more important than trying to be like everybody else that I see on Facebook or on YouTube or on Instagram and being all cute. I've got tons and tons of stickers that I have forgotten that I've purchased that just sit there and I get no use from them because I completely forgot that I even have them. So what I've done is I've organized everything and I'm using what I have before going out and buying new stickers. So that's that. The other part of this video is I do want to answer a couple of questions that you guys have been asking me. Yep, those are the dogs. That you guys have been asking me, whether it's on Instagram or Messenger or, you know, whatever. And I do answer them one-on-one, but then that means that everybody else might have the same question and don't dare ask or whatever. So let's go ahead and get into the questions. I do have them written down here, so in case you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at. The first question is, how old are you? I am 36 years old. Do I have any children? I don't have any human children, but I do have 3 dogs, including the little baby that I just showed you. Excuse me, a conure, which is a smaller version of a parrot, and a turtle. So those are my kids, and then I have a husband. You know. So yes, I do have a couple of kids, not any human kids, but that's what it is. Who makes up my family? Who's in your family? So that's kind of like a two-parter for me. I'm going to tell you what my household is composed of. It's composed of myself, my husband, and our animals. That's the truth. And who is in my family? So I've got my parents, obviously, right? And I shouldn't say that because I have my mom. My father passed away 4 years ago. Awful, because that was my best friend in the whole entire world. We would have conversations where he's just shaking his head, covering his ears, saying, "Why are you talking to me about this? Go talk to your mom about this. Like, I don't want to hear this kind of stuff. Not about boys, not about..." So we had an amazing relationship, and I used to think that my parents were immortal, that I was, you know, they were never gonna go away from me, and he did. So, but life goes on, and yes, I got my mom. I've got, I don't know how to explain this, 2 sisters, 2 brothers, and a foster sister. Let me explain that real quick. My parents had 2 biological daughters that are much older than I am. One of them is 61, the other one is 62. I was adopted and when I was a couple months old. And then my 2 younger brothers, the older one of the 2 was also adopted. And the younger of the 2 was never technically adopted, but he's ours and he's my brother, and we grew up together, and we gave him back to his mom, I guess we can say that, when he was 3 years old. And ever since, he's been kind of like a week with his mom, the weekend with us, or a week with his mom, a week with us. He is now in his 20s, and we're still in touch all the time. He still comes to visit all the time. So yeah, I'm actually, for those of you that are interested, writing a book about my life and finding out that I was adopted, because I wasn't told. I actually found out. I've always been kind of like a sleuth, kind of like an Encyclopedia Brown. Anyways, I found out, and I just want to let people know, you know, how I felt, how I found out, how I felt then, how I feel now, how I've gone through life in kind of like this denial, because anyone who knows my family and knows me, obviously, calls me a liar, because we all look alike, even us adopted children. So that's that, I guess. Yeah, I will let you guys know how that progresses, how this story in this book progresses. I guess I just want to let foster children and or adopted children out there know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I think that I was adopted by the most fabulous, most amazing family ever. Had I not found out that I was adopted, and had my parents tried to tell me that I was adopted, I probably wouldn't have believed it. Just because I had an amazing childhood, and I wouldn't give it up for the world. If I could relive my childhood, I would. That's how awesome I think it was. And yeah, so that's in the works, and I will let you guys know more about that. If you do want to know more about that, again, that's a totally different video, maybe even a series of videos. Leave a comment down below in the comment section. Give this video a big thumbs up, and I will definitely start working on something for you guys. And then the last question that I want to talk about is, other than religious education and YouTube, what do you do? I do have a full-time job. I work for the city that I live in, particularly for the school department, and a job that I absolutely love. It is very challenging. It's very challenging mentally. I can't say it's very challenging physically, even though I kind of sit all day. So it kind of is. I have a bad back too. It's challenging spiritually because I am kind of in a upper position, or I work for people in upper positions, and everybody who's upset and has already been upset and has gotten more upset and whatever end up kind of like at my desk sometimes, most of the times. And some people can be very nice while they're upset, and other people are not very nice, and it messes with me spiritually because I know that I'm supposed to carry Jesus in my heart all the time, but there are some times when some people might call me out of my name and tell me who they think I am, and it's very hard to keep that peace. And I am praying constantly, nonstop. I never understood what it was to pray unceasingly. Like, I would think to myself, that's impossible. Like, people go through life and we just live it. And I totally understand, because this job has actually, and I tend to joke around about it, but it's really the truth. This job has really helped me get so much closer to God, because I really, truly, like I said, it is challenging, especially mentally and spiritually. I pray all the time. I need to get through my days, but it's so fast paced. It's so much multitasking that sometimes you don't get a chance to go to the bathroom, and that's totally cool, because at the end of the day, it's 4:30 and you're like, whoa, wait a minute, where did the time go? I just walked in, this hasn't gotten done, or that hasn't gotten done. But I do love my job. And I do have a huge title that just means I'm a secretary, but my title is Confidential Executive Administrative Assistant. And yeah, that's me. If you guys have any other questions, please feel free to leave them down below. Please feel free to message me or Instagram me or whatever you want. But I would love if I'm able to answer them, you know, out in the open, so that everybody else can also get an answer, just in case they're wondering. This is the first video that I do like this, except for the very first one about who I was and why I was on YouTube. And I did it because, again, of all the questions, and I've been MIA, but I also did it because I love watching YouTube videos of other people answering questions, you know, personal questions or whatever, because then you get to know them a little bit more, and you get to, I don't know, it feels like I'm sitting in a coffee house, you know, with the person having some coffee or something, and I'm just learning so much more about who that person is, that I'm watching on a different level than just religious education, or what I have planted in the air garden, or what stickers I got today. So again, it's not that I'm not gardening anymore. It's not that I've stopped doing religious education, because I haven't. That's my passion. I've told you guys that before. And it's not that I've stopped planning at all. I still purchase stickers. I still have some stickers that are coming in. I'm just limiting myself. Again, reading Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover. I think it's going to help us a lot. And yeah, so thanks again, guys, for joining me for this video. It's been a little bit longer than the video, than I expected it to be. But till next time, guys. See you later. Bye.